Alright, how do you fix a broken jack-o'-lantern? How do you fix a broken jack-o'-lantern? With a pumpkin patch! Like a band-aid patch. Hilarious. I know. Alright, this is what your frame looks like. We have that multi-step equations are solving equations for a variable when 2 or more steps are needed. Really, we're going to be working with 3 or more steps, but on this frame, we're going to be working 2 or more. Solving equations for a variable when 2 or more steps are needed. Alright, we're going to go to that first, side where you have steps. So things we're looking for are distributive property, combining like terms, multiply by reciprocal. Those kinds of things we'll need to do, and then we can solve, and of course check at the very end. Alright, so, our first problem here is going to be 11 equals 3t, or 3 times t, minus 5 plus 5t. Alright, the very first thing that we're going to want to do here is we want to change this subtracting to adding the opposite. Alright, if we look, do we have to do a distributive property? Nope, no distributive property. Remember, that's going to look like a times b plus c on the inside. We don't have any of that. Do we need to combine like terms? Are there any problems here that have the same variable part? Well, 3t and 5t. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is we're going to rewrite it using the commutative property. We want those next to each other. So we want 3t plus 5t plus negative 5. That's our commutative property. Okay, we draw a line down the middle still. Now we can actually combine like terms. So we get 11 equals this 3t plus 5t. If I have 3 t's, add 5 more. I'm going to have 8t plus negative 5. And that is combining like terms. Now it's just a two-step equation. So I want to get rid of this adding negative 5 first. That's farthest away from 8t. So I'm going to add a positive 5. That's inverse property of addition. Add 5 to our left side. That's our equality property of addition. 11 plus 5 is 16 equals 8 times t. Negative 5 plus 5 is just going to end up being 0. So this is our compute. 16 equals 8 times t. It's just a one step now. So we're going to divide both sides by 8. On this side it's our inverse property of multiplying. The other side it's our equality property of division. 16 divided by 8 we get 2 equals 8 divided by 8 is 1. So 1 times t. That's compute. And finally we get 2 equals t because of our identity property of multiplication. Okay, we need to check. When we check, we're going to use this very first one, our very first equation before we did anything to it. Okay, I'm just going to rewrite it down here because I can't see it very well. 11 equals 3t minus 5 plus 5t. So I'm going to plug in our t, which is 2. So I get 11 equals 3 times 2 minus 5 plus 5 times 2. Let me see if that's right. So first I'm going to do the multiplying. So 11 equals 6 minus 5 plus 10. 6 minus 5 is 1 plus 10. And 1 plus 10 is 11. So we get 11 equals 11. Check. It works. Woo! Alright, let's go on to the next problem. Our next problem is 5a plus 3 times the quantity of a plus 2, remember quantity means parentheses, equals 22. We're actually going to start our line here and just keep drawing it down as far as we can go right now. Okay, distributive property, remember that looks like A times B plus C. Can we do distributive property? Well, yes, we can. We have this 3 right here, so we're going to want to distribute that 3. Pew! Pew! We keep the 5A just similar, so we get 5A plus 3 times A, which is 3A, plus 3 times 2 equal to 22. We're going to want to simplify that by just having 5A plus 3A plus 3 times 2 is 6 equal to 22. This is our distributive property, and this is just simplify, or simplify. Okay, then can we combine like terms? Oh, you betcha. We have 2 like terms here. 5A plus 3A ends up being 8A plus 6 equals 22. That is combine like terms, also known as CLT. And now it is our two-step equation. We want to get rid of this adding 6 first, so we're going to subtract 6. And that on this side is our inverse of addition. Subtract 6 on the other side. That's our equality of subtraction. Over here we end up with 8A equals 16. We want to get A by itself, so our final step here is going to be divide by 8. That's our inverse of multiplying. Divide by 8 on the other side. That's our equality of division. We're left with 1 times A equals 16 divided by 8 is 2. It's computation. Oop, I forgot to label that up here. That's okay. We're getting there. Alright, 1 times A is A. A equals 2 because of our identity property of multiplication. Alright, we're going to check. Remember, we want to check all the way back up to this equation. So all the way back up at that equation, it was 5A plus 3 times A plus 2 equal to 22. So we're going to plug in 2 for our A. So we get 5 times 2 plus 3 times 2 plus 2. Does that equal 22? We do parentheses first, so we get 5 times 2 plus 3 times 4. Does that equal 22? We can do both of this multiplication at the same time. 5 times 2 is 10, so we get 10 plus 3 times 4 is 12. Does that equal 22? Well, in fact, that does equal 22. Woo! Check. Did it right. Discount double check. Alright, moving on to our third problem. Losing my pen. Alright, here we have 2x plus 7 times the quantity of x minus 3 equals 6. Alright, so, whoops. Got a funky going 6 there. We're going to draw our line all the way down here. On this one, we are going to change the subtracting. Whoops. We're going to change the subtracting to adding the opposite. So this becomes adding a negative 3. Can't really see that very well. Whoa. Holy pen freak out. There we go. Alright. This is an adding a negative 3. Okay, we're going to look for that distributive property. Do we have A times the quantity of B plus C? Is there something with A right outside of it? In fact, yes. Choo! Choo! That 7 is outside. So we have 2x, we're going to leave that alone, plus 7 times x, plus 7 times negative 3 equals 6. Alright, that's our distributive property. We can simplify that by saying this is 2x plus 7x plus 7 times negative 3 is negative 21 equals 6. That's just simplifying. Can we combine like terms? Well, yes, we can. Look at those x's. 2x plus 7x ends up being 9x plus negative 21 equals 6. That we combined like terms, or CLT. Combine like terms. CLT. Alright, now it's a two-step equation. We want to get rid of the adding a negative 21, so we add a positive 21. That's our inverse property of addition. We add 21 to the other side for our equality property of addition. Make sure we do it to both sides. Negative 21 and positive 21 cancel each other out, so we end up with 9x equals 21 plus 6 ends up being 27. We're back to a one-step equation. So we're going to want to get rid of just the 9. So we divide by 9. That's our inverse property of what are we getting rid of? Oh, multiplication. Okay, divide the other side by 9. That's our equality property of division. Okay. 9 divided by 9 ends up being 1, so we get 1 times x equals 27 divided by 9 is 3. That's just computing, which I always forget to label up here at the very first one. So this ends up being x equals 3 because of the identity property of multiplication. Alright, remember when we do our check, because now we should be done there, x equals 3. We're going to go all the way back up to this one. So we have 2x plus 7 times x minus 3 equals 6. We're going to plug in 3 for that. So we get 2 times 3 plus 7 times 3 minus 3 equals 6. Well, 3 minus 3 is 0, so we get 2 times 3 plus 7 times 0 equals 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 7 times 0 is 0. So that equals 6. Well, yes, 6 equals 6. Check. Alright, that is all we're going to do for today. So please, 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 yes, 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 take your quiz. Take the quiz. Take the quiz. Don't make me sing anymore. Just go take the quiz. Okay. Well, apparently I can't write it, other than I can only write take. Take the quiz. Bye.